This is Musicably Podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Here is the situation. Toronto 2024. Taylor Swift comes to town as a part of the Eras Tour. Sells out the Rogers Centre multiple nights. 50,000 screaming people per night. The whole city basically shuts down. Hotels full, restaurants full, friendship bracelets everywhere. Grown adults in sequined outfits on the subway at 2 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. Fine, all fine. She puts on a great show, apparently. 3.5 hours. No opening act. Respect for the stamina alone. But then, the city politicians, the actual elected officials of Canada's largest city, proposed renaming the street leading to the Rogers Centre after her. Taylor Swift is worth $1.6 billion. She owns a private jet that burns more fuel in a week than your car does in a decade. She does not need a street. She does not know this street exists. She will never walk down this street. Her people have people who might, theoretically, one day look at a map that includes this street. But sure, let's name it after her. Maybe we can rename Lake Ontario the Eras Lake. Put up a little plaque, Taylor Swift Boulevard, because we wanted her to like us. Because this event pumped more than $250 million to the local economy. And here is the thing, the fans would have loved it. That's the part that gets me. They would have absolutely lost their minds with joy. Which brings me to what I actually want to talk about today. There is an image I keep coming back to. You have seen this person. Maybe you are this person. No judgment, we'll get to that. A grown adult, probably reasonable in every other area of their life. Pays $300-400 for a jersey, takes it home, puts it on, and walks around in public with another person's last name printed across their back. In sports, at least, there is a ceiling to the self-deception. A Leafs fan wearing an Austin Matthews jersey knows, on some level, in some locked room of their brain, that they did not score those goals. They were at home, on the couch, with the nachos. This is understood. Music fandom is sneakier, because the emotional connection feels personal. When someone tells me that a particular album saved their life, I believe them. I genuinely do. The feeling is real. But here is what they are actually describing. Something that happened to them. Something they received. Someone else made the thing. Someone else's name is still on their back or on their life's partner's back. They have just convinced themselves the jersey fits. And the real tell, is how fans talk about their favorite artists. We released a new album. We are going on a tour. Did you hear what they did to our setlist in Cleveland? We, our, us. Friend, I need to ask you something gently. Were you in the studio? Did you play the bridge? Were you in Cleveland? Because if you were in Cleveland for the set list, that's a whole separate conversation. But you were not in Cleveland. You were here, at home. Possibly also on a couch. Also with nachos. And that's fine. But we did not do anything. They did. and you watched. I want to give credit where it's due. A former professional hockey player, someone who actually played at the pro level, not the I was pretty good in beer league level, once described what he observed from inside the sports industry. His friend, an NHL player, said this: "Professional sports is modern religion." And I've been thinking about that ever since because he's right. He's completely right. The old tribal structures, the ones built around shared faith, shared ritual, shared participation, they didn't disappear. They got redirected. Now people pledge themselves to the Raptors, the Blue Jays, the Oilers. They make the pilgrimage to the arena. They perform the rituals. They wear the sacred garments. They belong. Music runs the exact same operation. The concert is the pilgrimage. The setlist is the liturgy. The artist is the God. And the fan, the true believer, is in the congregation, hands in the air, receiving the word. Justin Bieber fans are famously called beliebers. This term is a combination of his last name, Bieber, and the word believer, signifying their dedicated support. This would be lovely. Except this God does not know your name, does not lie awake thinking about you, and has a team of people whose entire job is to figure out how much more money they can extract from your devotion before you finally run out of it. Which brings me to the part of this episode where I possibly ruin some things for you. I'm sorry in advance. Not very sorry, but a little. Here is the thing nobody says out loud at a fan convention. The people being worshipped are not primarily musicians. They are brand architects. The music, the thing you are weeping over, tattooing on your body, pressuring municipal governments to name streets after, is the top of a very deliberate sales funnel. Let me give you the numbers. Rihanna, one of the greatest top voices of her generation, has not released an album since 2016. Know what she has been doing instead? Building Fenty Beauty into a billion-dollar cosmetics company. Rihanna is now worth approximately $1.4 billion. Almost none of it came from music. The music was the audience. The makeup was the business. The Rock, the actor, sells tequila, millions of cases a year. Jay-Z owns Champagne, a streaming service, a sports agency, and stakes in multiple alcohol brands. He's worth $2.5 billion. Selena Gomez has said openly on record that her beauty brand, Rare Beauty, now valued at over $2 billion, matters more to her than her music career does. And there is more. Mr. Beast has 350 million YouTube subscribers. He uses them to sell chocolate bars. Logan Paul used his to sell a hydration drink. George Lucas made Star Wars and then sold the intellectual property to Disney for $4 billion. He's worth $5.4 billion and has not directed a film in decades. He's on a yacht somewhere, and every time someone presses play on Disney Plus, a small amount of money flows quietly into his account. Steven Spielberg, $4.8 billion. Oprah, $3.2 billion. Mr. Beast, $2.6 billion. Michael Jordan, $3.8 billion. Tiger Woods, $1.3 billion. And I just discovered that Jeffree Star, a makeup influencer I had genuinely never heard of before researching this episode, is worth $200 million. Which, honestly, respect. I don't understand it, but respect. The blueprint is identical across every single one of these people. Fame is the funnel. Product is the conversion. Ownership is the engine. The fan is the customer. And the fan buying the concert ticket, the vinyl, the limited edition merch drop that sold out in 4 minutes at 11 in the morning on a Thursday, they are not supporting an artist. They are, to use the precise business vocabulary, customers in a marketing funnel, generating the social proof and platform engagement that makes the next product launch viable. This is not cynicism, this is just how it works. The people at the top understand it completely. Most of the people at the bottom, the ones wearing the jerseys, do not. While we are here, can we just briefly acknowledge the gambling thing? Sports betting is now legal, aggressively marketed and attached to every major sporting event like a pilot fish on a shark. The industry spent over $1 billion on advertising in North America last year. The spokespersons are athletes. The platforms are league sponsored. The message is your emotional investment in this game is worth more if you have money riding on it. It's brilliant, actually, in a deeply cynical way. You are already emotionally invested. You already feel like you are participating. Now we'll make it financial so you really, genuinely have skin in the game. You are not just watching anymore. You are involved. You are practically on the ice. You are not on the ice. You are significantly in debt and the game went to overtime. The music industry hasn't cracked sports-style gambling integration yet, but give them time. In the meantime, they have their own version, the fan subscription tier, the exclusive content paywall, the VIP upgrade that lets you stand 12 feet closer to someone who will not make eye contact with you. Every layer engineered to deepen the feeling of connection while running the numbers on revenue per superfan. And let's call it, the middle-class musician class has disappeared because there is not space for them in this game and no money left to allow them survive. Okay, here is where I stop being funny and say the thing I actually came here to say. Behind all of this is a quieter problem, and it's the one that has been on my mind for a long time. For most of human history, and I mean most, like the vast majority, like almost all of it, your musical identity came from what you made. You sang, you played something, you banged on something rhythmic, badly probably at first, but you did it regularly with the people around you because that's what humans did. It was not a performance, it was not content, it was just part of being alive together. And then, gradually, and then very quickly, the recording industry turned music into a product. And a product needs consumers. And consumers, by definition, do not make things, they receive them. Your taste became your identity. Your playlist became your personality. Your knowledge of an artist's complete discography became the thing you brought to the table musically. None of that requires you to make a single sound. The industry sold you a musical self that costs no musical effort to maintain, just money, attention, and loyalty. And in exchange, you handed over the thing that was actually yours, your own voice, your own hands, your own presence in a room full of people making noise together. Toronto wanted to rename a street after Taylor Swift. And I get it. She sold a lot of tickets and the local economy loved her for it. But there is something in that gesture that captures exactly what I am talking about. The city didn't throw a parade for its own musicians. It didn't rename a street after someone who had spent 40 years playing in local venues and teaching kids to sing. It groveled publicly, enthusiastically, in front of a $1 billion brand because that's what fandom culture taught us to do. Worship the professional. Watch the professional. Buy the professional's stuff. And somewhere in there, quietly, without anyone announcing it, stop making music yourself. You were handed someone else's jersey and told it was yours. It never fit. It was never meant to. Your name goes on your back. Your voice goes in the room. Your hands go on the instrument. The music was always yours to make. It still is. Thank you for listening. I'm Palo, and this is Musicably. See you next week.